Past perfect tense in German. So once you've learned present tense and present perfect tense, past perfect tense is going to be pretty easy. Also make sure that you have also looked at simple past or narrative past. So, past perfect tense. So, the thing that you need to note is that past perfect tense expresses an event or action that has taken place prior to an event or action that occurred in the past. So, it's like the past of the past. And I'll explain in a little bit, utilizing a timeline to kind of help bring this point home. The other way to think of this is that it's an event that precedes another event that's the simple past. So if you understand kind of a timeline of what's going on, like this is now, right? Jetzt. So that's the present tense. You perhaps have already looked at future tense. So what will occur? And now if you think about, well, what has happened, that's kind of simple past or present perfect. But this past perfect has occurred even before the simple past. So right now, like I I see the movie is right now. I see it. I will see it is the future. I saw it. I saw the film or the movie, simple past. So what we're going to look at is I had seen, for past perfect. I had seen. So I see the movie. I saw the movie. I had seen. So zum Beispiel, here's an example from a German advertisement. Das hatte ich mir schon immer gewünscht. This is an example of past perfect tense. So take a look at this and answer the question, what elements are the verb? Hopefully you recognize that hatte is a verb. If you looked at this alone, what is the tense of hatte? So if you said narrative past or simple past, you're correct, right? Habe is hatte. Ich hatte, du hattest, sie es hatte, und so weiter. The other element of the verb is gewünscht. So wünschen is to wish. Gewünscht is the past participle. So if you recall back when you looked at present perfect tense or conversational past tense, you would have said something like, oh, ich habe das gewünscht. I did wish that. So you would have said ich habe. So looking at this as an example, knowing that this is past perfect tense, the things that you should notice is that the habe is now simple past of hatte, and then gewünscht is the past participle. So those are the two elements you need. The past, simple past of haben or sein, and then the past participle. So, if it utilizes haben, as we saw it in the present perfect tense, like ich habe ein Buch gekauft, you're now going to change that to the simple past of haben. To review, the simple past of haben is ich hatte, du hattest, sie es hatte, wir hatten, ihr hattet, sie hatten. So make sure you write down that chart. You're welcome to put it in another format. If you also recall, we looked at some past participles that utilize the helping verb to be, or sein. So probably a while ago, we looked at something instead of saying like, ich fliege nach Deutschland, we would have said, ich bin nach Deutschland geflogen. So when we used to use the ist or the bin, like if when you learn a past participle, you learn it's like gehen ist gegangen, fliegen ist geflogen, laufen ist gelaufen. Anytime it had ist, that meant we used to be as our helping verb. So guess what? We're going to use to be as our helping verb, but we're going to put it in the simple past tense. So to review and write this down in any way, shape, or form you need to, ich war, du warst, sie es war, wir waren, ihr wart, sie waren. So that's pretty much the only thing that changes in the past perfect tense. So simple past tense of haben or sein, and then the past participle of the main verb at the end. So here's some examples similar to what I just said. So, excuse me. In the present perfect tense, we would have said, Ich habe ein Buch gekauft. If you think of present as part of present perfect, you'll notice that the habe and the ist is in the present tense. Ist nach Deutschland gefahren. So now making this past perfect tense, we still utilize the past participles, kaufen, gekauft, fahren, ist gefahren, but now this is past perfect tense. It's not that I did buy a book, or he did go, or he did drive to Dallas. They are now going to be, I had bought a book. Ich hatte ein Buch gekauft. And not that he did drive to Dallas. He had driven. War nach Dallas gefahren. So the only thing that really changes is what was present tense for haben and sein. We now utilized the simple past. Zum Beispiel, wir hatten in einem schönen Haus gewohnt. Herr und Frau Braun waren in die Galerie gegangen. Notice I made a mistake, so get rid of that D. So write the sentence down and underline the elements that make this past perfect tense. Sie hatten ein Bild gekauft. Write the sentence down and underline the elements that make this past perfect tense. Now, one of the things to pay attention to, especially now that you know many tenses, is because past perfect tense usually precedes something that's simple past or narrative past, you're typically not going to see this tense used alone. So those standalone sentences that I saw certainly, grammatically have some meaning, but now that we're utilizing more compound, complex sentence structures, we're going to usually see them as part of a compound or complex sentence. So consider this. Wir fuhren in die Ferien, so we drove on vacation. Vor unserer Abreise, before our departure, hatten wir schon unseren Koffer gepackt. So we're noticing in writing that we have two elements together. So first it's, well, we drove on vacation, right? We went on vacation. But before our departure, so even before the event of the past tense of going on vacation, we had packed. So you're going to see a lot of paired sentences together where you see an element of simple past followed by some more explanation in the past perfect. Just something you may notice. So looking at what we know, kind of reviewing all together, minus the future tense, because we're not really concerned with that. We have seen present tense, so wir sind auf einer Party. We've looked at present perfect or conversational past tense. Wir sind auf einer Party gewesen, so sein ist gewesen. We also then looked at this in the narrative past or the simple past tense. Instead of saying wir sind in gewesen, it's wir waren. Wir waren auf einer Party. So what the past perfect does, if you utilize this chart, is it takes part of the element of the past, waren. It takes part of the element of the past perfect, which is gewesen. And now we have wir waren auf einer Party gewesen. I highly encourage you to write this down in your notes because this chart will be very helpful. If you wanted to know future, you would put wir werden auf einer Party sein. Yeah. So, Übung macht den Meister. Take a few minutes to go ahead and write these sentences in the past perfect tense. Pause the video to write your sentences and resume when you're ready to check your answers. Please make all corrections. Sie hatte gut gespielt. Ich hatte Deutsch schon als Kind gesprochen. So make sure you remember what these past participles are. Ich war nach Hause gefahren. This one's a little tricky because fahren is ist gefahren, so it utilizes the to be helping verb. Und ich hatte eine Hose gekauft. Danke.